This is the refreshed Skoda Fabia, a car we don't even notice on the streets here in Poland. Why? Subscribe and I'll tell you. In Poland, Skoda is a brand popular with fleet buyers. It's the car of choice for the junior rep. It's cheap, it's got decent cargo capacity, a good choice of options, and if you want to play it safe, there is a lot of driver aids as well. What's not to like? As part of a facelift, the Fabia received some nip and tuck front and back. There are new wheel designs and new paint colors. The engine lineup is now just a 1-liter 3-banger, putting out 60, 95 or 110 horsepower, the former being normally aspirated and the latter two having a turbo. There is a 5-speed manual for the 60 and 95 horsepower, a 7-speed DSG for the middle engine and a 6-speed manual for the most powerful variant. The refreshed Fabia now has LED day running lights regardless of the trim and optional LED headlights and tail lamps. Driver aids include adaptive cruise control, reversing camera, collision mitigating system with autonomous braking, cross-traffic alert when reversing, blind spot monitoring or automatic high beams. Inside, Skoda refreshed the instrument cluster and added new upholstery designs. The boot volume remains unchanged at 330 liters, and that doesn't take into account the spare wheel well, which some brands add to their boot volume. The boot is long and deep. You can store the parcel shelf behind the seats or drop it one level. There are also cubbies for smaller items, 2 large shopping bag hooks here. This car also gets an optional double-sided mat, and this test car has a repair kit. A spare tire costs €92. In the back, it's just as tight as it was before the facelift. The wheelbase in the Skoda Fabia is one of the shortest among super minis, with the Suzuki Swift and the Mitsubishi Space Star having less. Also, the Space Star is more of an A+ segment car. The driver's seat is set to my driving position. I'm 175 centimeters tall and I'm still touching the front seat with my knees. Headroom is better because the Fabia is tall. The door pockets are too small for a medium-sized bottle, but there are pockets in the seats. There are 2 USB ports and a place for, I don't know, some candy if you're an Uber driver. The Fabia still has analog, mostly, instrument cluster. This model is yet to be transferred to the MQB platform, so it doesn't have all the stuff that the Polo or the Ibiza, as well as larger Skoda models get. There is a small digital display between the dials with basic trip computer readouts. Less and less VW Group cars have this simple and elegant solution. The same goes for the infotainment system. Most models in the group get a full touch display, whereas the Fabia still has some physical buttons around it. I used to praise the VW cars for doing it right, but VW decided to go all out digital. Fortunately, the Fabia still gets physical controls for the AC, as well as for some of the basic car functions. When I reviewed the pre-facelift model, sat-nav was unavailable. Now it's an option. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard on all but the lowest trim model. Not worth paying €760 for sat-nav. Get a good smartphone. Air vents are still on top of the dash, so the air blows into the cabin and not on your elbow. The display is tilted up a bit too much for my liking, as it tends to reflect the sun. Perhaps taller drivers won't notice. There is also a phone cubby, only 1 USB port in the front and 1 12-volt socket. The glove box is average size, storage under the armrest is small, cup holders are more for the energy drink-consuming rep, door pockets are sufficient. The start button is in a place where you'd expect the ignition. If you drive Skodas, this is very intuitive. If not, you'll curse it. In the pre-facelift model, I complained about 2 things: noise and lack of stability at motorway speeds. I don't measure noise levels, but subjectively, the facelifted Fabia feels a bit better sound insulated. Perhaps the windscreen is slightly thicker, or maybe they improved aerodynamics, or maybe the engine bay is better insulated. Anyway, I didn't feel tired driving the Fabia for a couple of hours on the motorway. But it remained unstable A few times the car started drifting to the other lane. The steering is very light, especially above 100 km per hour. There is no active lane assist feature, only blind spot monitoring. At least there is adaptive cruise control, which makes longer journeys more enjoyable. Despite the drifting from my lane, the car's fatigue monitoring system didn't think I was falling asleep. Perhaps it's how the Fabia behaves normally, so watch out. Also mind the cars in front. Someone in front of you could start braking abruptly. This is when the collision mitigating system can help you react faster and save you from a crash. The car will also let you know you're driving too close to the vehicle in front. Tailgating is not a sport, you're just being a douche. Skoda Fabia with a 95 horsepower motor and a 5-speed manual gearbox should use about 6 liters per 100 kilometers combined. It's achievable, but if you're gentle with the throttle, you can even get a better result. However, if you like to step on it, Fabia gets the XDS Plus kinda sorta electronic diff as standard. It brakes the wheel, which loses traction while cornering. I filmed the Hyundai i20 on the same day in the same location, and the Fabia cornered much better. Skoda claims this car will do 0 to 100 km per hour in 10.7 seconds. It took me slightly longer, even going down a small incline. And that's about it as far as sporty driving is concerned. When the roads get rougher, the rear suspension is easily unsettled. Foot off the gas and you'll save fuel as well as the shocks. If the roads in your area are flat, later 2020 Fabia models get sport suspension as standard. That means 15mm lower ground clearance. But if you prefer to play it safe, there is a Roads Where I Live Are Crap pack, which raises the ground clearance by 8mm, as well as adds better damping and some undercarriage protection. Price of the Skoda Fabia start at around €13,800 for the base model with a normally aspirated engine. This press car is in style trim, and with some options it costs about 23 grand, which in my opinion is absolutely ridiculous. In Poland you can get this very car for €18,000, which if you live in eastern parts of Germany, I strongly suggest you do. Skoda Fabia is, in my opinion, one of the best currently available Skoda models. Like the Golf 7, this is the best the brand has to offer. Everything later has more electronics, more touchscreens, more displays. There won't be cars like this in the future. And what do you think about the Skoda Fabia and the direction the automotive world is going? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video, as this helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.